So once we get the tire off, what I do, I forgot to show you, I put it on the floor and I use a splitting wedge and a big hammer to break the bead. Once I got both beads broken, it comes up on the vise. I've got a piece of 1/2-inch threaded rod mounted in the vise and just this old piece of metal and a 1/2-inch wing nut. I think this is a spare tire hold down from an old car or something. And that holds the thing solid, which is half the battle of this. Now what we're going to do is use our tire spoons here, or tire irons, and we'll get the tire off the rim and see if we can find the tube. If it even has a tube. Sometimes these things are tubeless. Okay, let's go. And this doesn't always go as well as I plan. Sometimes with these little tiny tires, you're actually better off to use screwdrivers than these great big bars, but we'll see. Gotta get over here a little more, a little closer to the, there we go. I think we'll be okay. No, gotta get screwdriver. Got to get the screwdriver. The only thing you gotta watch with using the screwdriver is that you do not get the tube. Because our tube may have, if it oh yeah, I think I see a tube in there. All right, there's a tube. Let's get it out. There it is. Now, what we always want to do with these is get the tire off. Come on, tire. Get the tire right off the rim. There. Because we want to make sure that inside of it, whatever caused it to be flat isn't a screw stuck in it that's just going to flatten it again. So we'll vacuum the debris out of it and inspect the inside of it. In the meantime, we'll check out this tube. And I have to say, I'm quite skeptical that that's the right tube for that tire. That looks like it's out of a wheelbarrow tire or something, not a lawn tractor tire. I'm going to have a look at it and see if I can see a size on it. Well, after all, maybe it will fit in there. It does have a hole in it. You can see right there. Looks like somebody's pinched it with a screwdriver. So we'll get our patch kit out and throw a patch on it and see what happens. So this is pretty straightforward, no different than when we were kids fixing tubes in our bicycles, right? Give it a little scuff with some sandpaper. Find an appropriate size patch in our patch kit. Patch kit comes with rubber cement. And we go around there with that stuff. And we'll let it dry. Peel the foil back off the patch and stick her on. And that's it. We've patched the tire. Now what we'll do is I'll take the core out and we'll squish this down really good. You can get a thing like this, and we're just going to go over this and make sure it's really stuck down. Now at this point, if you want, you can inflate the tube again and stick it in a tub of water to make sure you fix it, but I'm pretty sure we've got this guy fixed. So we're going to go ahead and put it back together. Now we'll put her back together. First thing we got to do is get a little lubrication on the rear bead. So I just use actual tire lube, but you could just use a little dishwash soap, some hand cleaner, WD-40, anything. There, and that'll just, you kind of twist it, and on she goes, okay? Now, where's my valve grabber? Oh Now we're going to use this thing. It's a valve grabber, or whatever you want to call it. So, we get this thing. It goes through the valve hole in the wheel. We pull it to the outside world. It goes through the inner tube and screws on to our valve stem. I'll show you in a sec. I don't think the camera's high enough to see this. Okay. So you can see there. Here's the handle. It goes through the wheel, out, and grabs the valve stem. So now we're going to go ahead, work the tube into the tire, over the bead on the rim. There. And then once we've got that done, we can just jiggle this thing around, and there's our valve. And what I'll do now is I'll put up, you can either leave this on till you're done, or you can put like a needle nose vice grip on there just to keep that until we're done. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to put some lubrication on this outer bead of the tire. And we'll go ahead and get it on. It's important to get the back side of it also, because it's the back side you're trying to get over the rim, right? Okay. Now what I do, we're just going to get her started on here, and then I put a vice grip on the rim. That's like our third hand. And then we just work our way around. Now we'll probably grab the screwdriver, and again, you have to be careful. You do not want to pinch the tube. You want to just get the very tip of the screwdriver in there, and you won't pinch the tube. There. Now we'll pull the valve stem back out, clamp our little needle nose vice grip on it, there. Now, we can put the valve stem back in, or the valve core, pardon me, back in, and put some air in this thing and see what's going to happen. Just seeing this thing with four wheels with air in them will be a good thing. Okay, here we go. Let's see what happens, eh? See if it pushes see if it can push the tire out onto the beads of the rim. I still think it's not exactly the right tube, but we can make it work. We can make it work. Well, there we are. It's got 20 psi in it. I think we're okay, but you can see how the valve stem wants to go in. That's a pretty good sign that the tube is too small. Anyway, it's there for now. And we can put the tire back on. Well, let's see what happens. Well, look at that.